everybody, and welcome. It's Debo here, and it all comes down to this. This is our final guide for the World of Darkness, Cloud of Darkness. Cloud is a very epic feeling encounter that relies more so on reaction and positioning than anything else. The first ability she will use is Faint Particle Beam. She will target a random member in the raid and then launch a small beam at them. Once this beam hits, the person will then be chased by pulses of damage. The best way to deal with this mechanic is to simply kite the pulses around. Be wary of kiting the pulses through people, as they will deal damage to anyone they do hit, and they do a significant amount of damage. The next ability happens when Cloud disappears from the room. She will then appear at another random point along the circle, charge for a moment, and then fire a large swath of beams directly across the room. Simply get out of the way and continue tanking her where she spawned. We see here Faint Particle Beam and the correct way to kite it around the back of the room safely. The next mechanic are these flame circles on the ground. Meteors will drop to the floor and deal damage to everyone in the raid unless people stack up in the circles to mitigate the damage amongst each other. These are essentially the yellow orbs in Circus Tower's final boss, just done to a larger scale. After a couple rounds of this phase, Cloud will then go into her second phase. The floor will begin glowing, and storms of energy will begin to proceed from the far end of the room towards Cloud. Any that reach her will charge her with extra damage that will be dealt to the entire raid as a 2-hour ability when this phase is complete. The larger storms have more HP and therefore take priority. All the DPS must switch between the targets to make sure they are destroyed. However, circles will spawn during this phase, so ranged DPS and healers should be on hand to soak the damage so the raid is not wiped from the meteors. With this phase complete, Cloud will launch her 2-hour ability, dealing large amounts of damage to everyone in the raid, and we will continue on with the original phase. Added in this time, however, are small adds called Shadow Lurkers. These adds will pop above ground periodically. You need to deal damage to them to make them disappear again, otherwise they will charge a lightning move which deals a massive amount of AoE damage and paralyzes anyone hit by it. If too many Shadow Lurkers are ignored, this is usually a wipe. The last ability Cloud has in her arsenal are these hexagons that appear on the floor with storms inside. After a short amount of time, walls will raise, and only the people inside the hexagons will be able to damage the storm. If these storms are not killed in a sufficient amount of time, they will explode and damage everyone in the raid. To deal with this mechanic, groups should stick together and go into their own hexagons to damage the storms, as these things have high amounts of HP, and it requires more than 2 or 3 DPS to bring them down in time. More and more meteor circles will appear throughout the fight, forcing more and more people from the Alliance to take damage. This is all there is to the fight, but I'll leave you now with an image of what happens if too many Shadow Lurkers are ignored. That's all from World of Darkness. Thank you for watching. As always, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again next time.